Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to this channel. My name is Monika and I will be starting my vlogs. I thought the first video on this channel should be about something very personal to me, about my births, about my pregnancies. I have 3 children, 3 toddlers. I also have my other channel that is weightlifting, workout, calories, all of that goodness. If you want to go and check that out, just go ahead. Let's start this video with my first child. Before I get into my first pregnancy, I need to go back. When me and my husband started to try for a baby, I had, disclaimer, sensitive area for some, I had 3 miscarriages, which was interesting, lots of emotions. I had to have a D&C at about 10 weeks for one of those, which was hard. It was hard to go through. Losing a baby is hard. Losing your first baby is just horrible. But then losing babies in a row constantly, I don't even know how to describe it. But that's what happened to me. So of course I had tests done and I had to take progesterone and baby aspirin and all of the things that every doctor recommends. And then there came a time when I got pregnant, and the pregnancy was good that time. And that's where I had a baby girl. During the pregnancy, I was on bed rest because I had 3 miscarriages before. Every doctor was afraid that I will miscarry again. So I was on bed rest. For the whole pregnancy, I had to do the least amount that was humanly possible. So just make your food and go to the restroom, shower, and stay in bed. That's about it. In that case, I gained a lot of weight. Of course, I didn't have any more children, so I was free. I quit my job and I was free to just lay in bed, watch movies, just pretty much chill the whole time. I gained a lot of weight. I was not moving around, and I kind of pushed my friends out of the picture when that happened because I was just afraid. I was afraid to lose that baby, and after we found out that it's a girl, there's just other emotions and happiness, and you get so attached to that child already that it's yours, right? Like, you want that baby girl to be born. At the end of the pregnancy, though, I started experiencing high blood pressure, protein in my urine, and for about 4 weeks my doctor was kind of looking and listening, and I was calling constantly. I don't even know if he's a good doctor. Like, when I think back about it, like, I was calling him and telling him that I'm shaking from how high my blood pressure was, and he would just tell me to come in the next day for whatever test that he had to do. And so I bought a blood pressure cup that it's just like very tiny. You just put it on and you can see how high your blood pressure is. I used that throughout the rest of my pregnancy because my blood pressure was high. That is when my doctor said that I have preeclampsia. That is why I was very swollen. Not necessarily my ankles or my feet, just you could see, and I could try to find a picture of my pregnancy. You could see that I was so puffy. Like, I was just watery and puffy, and my body was just not happy. about any of this. So, a couple of days before Christmas Eve, I called my doctor and I told him the numbers of my blood pressure, and he was like, whoa, you need to go to the hospital to get induced. That was not a surprise really, because my body was telling me something all along for like at least a month. So I knew that this day was coming. You never expect that. You need to go a month early. I was only 36 weeks pregnant. And so to have this baby, right? So you're hoping that the baby is all good and the baby can breathe when it's born and everything is developed. During my pregnancy, we took a natural birthing class with my husband and other couples. So overall, I wanted a natural, no epidural, no Pitocin, no cutting, no touching, just leave me alone and let me get this child out myself type of birth. Of course, that all went out the window when he said I have preeclampsia, because they have to take other precautions during this type of situation. So I had a birth plan that I gave to my doctor and the nurses in the hospital. Of course, I don't think they even looked at my birth plan, because I was a high-risk situation at this point. I couldn't move throughout my labor. I had to be in bed because they had to monitor the baby and my blood pressure to see if we are doing okay and when is the time to maybe go to the emergency C-section, I guess. Ooh. And so I had to lay in bed throughout my labor, and I wanted a natural birth, so I was like, I don't want no Pitocin, I don't want no epidural. So what they did at the start, when I came in, I was having something going on, and my doctor beforehand checked me and I was 1 centimeter open. So I had a couple of cramps, but nothing was going on. And then they put in some kind of pill or a tablet. I don't even remember what it's called anymore. Pretty much it helps you soften up, open up a little bit. And then what happened, after like 15 minutes, my water broke by itself. My water broke by itself after this thing was put inside of me. And that's when it all started. So I never gave birth before. I didn't know what to expect. I was dreaming about this beautiful natural birth that was challenged by the preeclampsia. So I was laying in bed, going through contractions. I'm not gonna say contractions hurt, because when you are going through them, it's something different. It's a pressure, of course, and there is a discomfort, to say the least, but you want that baby. You want this to be over. You want that baby in your arms. You want that baby to be healthy and safe, and you want this to be over. So you're going through contractions, and the time is different when you're in labor. For some reason, it's just so different. The time kind of flies. I felt like, I remember only like some moments, not the whole thing. It is weird for sure, an amazing thing, amazing experience to have and to be able to have. I was going through contractions, laying in bed, so uncomfortable, you know, the whole thing. My husband was next to me, holding my legs, and I was what helped me was he was holding my leg and I was kind of pushing him throughout the contraction. So I was kind of he was giving me pressure and I was pushing him, and that way, for some reason, it helped me go through the contractions. I think 4 hours later, my daughter was born, and she was so tiny because she was a month early. She was 6 pounds and it's just so beautiful. Her head was the size of my fist, which is, my fist is not large, like it's pretty small. She was born, she was healthy, and even though she was born a month early and she was born a day before Christmas Eve, so the holidays were just like a blessing for sure, and we enjoyed, and I was tired. And the one thing that I can complain about, and I will, the one thing that happened during my labor that kind of pissed me off, and you never want to piss off a woman in birth, right? Like, I've heard some women actually get mad at their husbands for doing this to them. I was not in that case. I was pretty still happy and amazed and happy to go through the experience and finally have a child after 3 miscarriages. But what happened, and my doctor knew that I had a birth plan. We kind of, throughout the pregnancy, we talked about my expectations, my wants, right? So I told him that I want a natural birth, no Pitocin, no epidural, no cutting me, and kind of leaving me alone. Then at my pushing stage, at my labor, I was pushing and I hear him saying, oh my gosh. Well, he didn't say, oh my gosh. I felt like it was so dramatic, but it probably was not. He was just whispering to the nurses that he's gonna cut me to get the baby out faster. I got so mad. I'm like, I am doing this. It's been like 15 minutes of pushing and you are ready to cut me when I asked you not to. I would much rather rip than be cut. Just my preference. And so I started screaming at him to not touch me, to not take the scissors or whatever they're called. Thank goodness that I heard. And a couple of minutes, I think, she was born and I did not rip. So there was no need for cutting me. Of course, he maybe wanted to rush the process. He didn't know how much longer it's gonna take. But I feel like 20 minutes of pushing is very fast. And I will talk about my other births, other pregnancies in the next videos. I will do like a series of my births. So that was very fast labor, like 4 to 5 hours, and then pushing for about 20 to 30 minutes the most. It's actually very short for any of that. Like, I've heard women who stay in labor for days and push for hours, and it's just, I was very lucky not to experience any of that. Just the doctor, I felt like I just maybe picked the wrong doctor that didn't understand me, didn't even listen to me in the first place. Let me see, I have my notes over here, so I will see what else I have written down. One thing I forgot to mention that I wrote down in my notepad is that during my birth, at the end of my labor, I was begging my husband for an epidural. So I just have a tip for anyone who wants to do a natural birth. Talk with your husband, your significant other, or anyone who will be in there helping you out, supporting you. Tell them how important it is for you, because at the end, when you are so over it, when you don't know how much longer you have and you feel like maybe you had been in labor for hours. My husband knew how important it is for me not to have an epidural. I wanted to do this naturally, for my own reasons, of course, that I can get into in another video for you guys. I asked him, I was like, I'm done. I need the epidural. Like, I cannot anymore. I need that. So he told me that he called the doctor for the epidural. Of course, that was a lie. He didn't. He knew how important it is for me. So he told me that he called the doctor and that we're waiting because it takes a while for them to come. After my birth, of course, I didn't know how much time has passed. The time's kind of blurry during birth. So after I gave birth, I thanked him. I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much for doing this, because he didn't make me mad by saying, no, you wanted natural birth, why are you doing this to you? Like, he didn't say anything. He just said, I'm gonna call the doctor. And he pretended like he called the doctor to come to my room, which helped me a lot, because in my mind I was like, the doctor's coming soon, it's gonna be over soon, the doctor's coming, and I will be free of this. So just a tip, have someone who will be there for you and support you and know your goals and your wants, because during birth you are not able to communicate so well. So these are all the things that I wanted to share with you about my birth. Now my daughter is 7 years old. It's been amazing 7 years, and I can't believe I went through so much to have her. And I can't believe that so many women have miscarriages, and it's just, it is heartbreaking for sure. There's no words. I know how you feel. It is hard. But if you can't get pregnant and you're watching this video, you will get pregnant, and just, you need to wait it out. You need to wait it out, find a doctor, find support. And that's it. I hope you like this video. I tried to do best. It's been a lot of years, so it's hard to remember it all, but the main things actually got stuck. And I feel like it's stuck forever. At the end of this journey, I had a baby. I was staying in the hospital for one night because it was Christmas Eve, and I wanted to celebrate with my family, and everyone was so surprised that I had a baby, because no one knew, because everyone thought we still have a month. So the baby was just like, and she's here. Okay, so the next video I will make is my pregnancy and my birth with my son, and you will find out if I had any more miscarriages. See you soon.